Morning, students. Now we look at our second presentation for computer studies, but this is not computer studies now. This is the tactics and learner support for computer studies. That is computer methodology. The tactics and learner support for computer studies. This course is designed to teach you the methodology to use in delivering your content and how to manage your computer classes as a computer teacher. All right, but this is not a this is an examination-based content class in which exam in August examination. So my name remains Mr. Edu, tutor for computer studies, didactics, and learner supports. What are you expected to see in the examination? What are you expected to see? Let me show you what you are going to see. This is what you are going to see. The examination covers the entire syllabus, just like I told you in the computer studies class. It covers the entire syllabus, all questions selected from all modules, not one topic. A whole syllabus will be covered. So don't read only these presentation. It's not a replacement for your study guide, just to guide you. You are going to see 11 questions, an aggregate of 130 marks. You are expected to answer all the questions. As I told you in my previous presentation, pay attention to the examination words like state, define, explain, and so on. So because of time, which I always complain to you about just 30 minutes presentation, I'll go straight to guide you on some areas. I have selected some topics that I'm going to present to you today. The first one is the scheme of work. You have your syllabus already, but how are you going to deliver these syllabus? You need what is called a scheme of work. In education, a scheme of work is a planned work by a subject teacher that states how the syllabus will be covered, when it's going to be covered, how you are going to cover your work, from beginning of the year to the end of the year. So it's a year plan. Let me just put it away. It's an academic year plan for teaching and learning. This does not include other activities. We're talking about the scheme of work. So meaning if you take your syllabus, you look at, okay, there are 10 topics there. Okay, first term, I want to cover 3 topics. Second term, I want to cover 4 topics because I have more time in second term. Third term, I'm going to cover 3 topics. Now in first term, you have 3 topics. How many weeks do you have in first term? How can I break down these 3 topics into weeks? How can I break down these 3 topics that I have into days? How can I break them into the number of periods? Remember, included everything that needs to be covered. So a scheme of work is used by the subject teacher to plan his teaching and learning activities for the year, and it is broken down into terms. In our educational system in Namibia, we have first, second, and third terms, 3 terms. So you need to break it down. If you're under the cluster system, it means in your cluster you have a common scheme of work. But if you are not working under the cluster system, it means you have a scheme of work in your school. So you need to break down your syllabus into a scheme of work to guide you on when to present your work. So you must know what is a scheme of work, and that includes your tests, your practicals, your assignment, your revision, everything that is needed. All the academic activities must be covered in the scheme of work. So you need to understand as a computer teacher that you need a scheme of work. Okay. What next do I want to discuss with you in this presentation is the methodology of teaching computer skills. You see, what makes computer teaching from other subjects is pre-vocational, or let me just say it's vocational. Skills must be acquired here. And I told you, I started teaching computer 1999. Yeah, that was the first time I stepped in as a computer. 1999, all right, 1988, 1999, that year. So I've been in the classroom of computer teaching, and I've taught at all levels, from pre-primary, primary, secondary, university, colleges. So when it comes to computer teaching methodology, this is my feed. This is what I do on a daily basis. Now, what methodology is best for you to use? I'm sure in your education courses, in your education programs and courses, you must have been taught different teaching methodology. Now, what this course, the didactics, the methodology is all about is we want to customize it now to computer. We want to customize it. The best way, other ways are still fine, but I recommend this method. You want to use the learner-centered approach. The learner-centered approach. Why? The learner-centered approach will engage the learners. They will be involved. They will be involved. They can easily reflect on what they have done. It motivates them. They are practically involved. They will be able to think critically. They will be able to solve problems. They will be able to evaluate themselves. They will be able to analyze themselves. The learner-centered approach is always very good when it comes to computer teaching there at the secondary or the primary school level. Don't adopt the lecturing approach at the secondary or primary school level. Apply the learner-centered approach where the learners are actively involved. Remember, you are using the computers here. Let them be actively involved. Let's give it a ratio of 80-20. 80% them doing the work, 20% of you guiding them. Okay? Talking about the teaching methodology. I will still find time to teach you the proper methodology, how to implement a computer studies curriculum. I will teach you that. That one I have the experience here. Apart from the methodology, that is the method you can use to deliver your content, is the computer room. How should your computer room be arranged? There are different types of layouts. There's no fast rules and regulation that says that you must use this method, this layout to arrange your computer room. Remember, the computer room we are talking about is the computer room where learners learn, not the computer room where administrative work takes place. Don't get it wrong here. We're not talking about the computer room where administrative work takes place. No. We're talking about the computer room where learning and teaching takes place. I always prefer the U-shaped layout. Why? You as the teacher, you can stand here. Can you see? You can be here. Remember, the screen is facing this side. The screen is facing here, right? The screen is facing here. So you can move around. You can easily see. Just peep to see what they're doing. You have a free movement. And when there's a fire outbreak, very easy for them to run out. It's very easy for them to escape when there's a fire outbreak. And more importantly, it's very easy for you to look. You move to see what they are doing. That's why I always prefer the U-shape layout. And you can monitor what the students are doing very well. And you know one problem we face when it comes to the implementation of the computer syllabus? Because there are so many social activities out there, some students choose computer not because they are really interested, but because they are interested in the fun. Oh, I want to go to the computer lab. There I can play games. I want to go to the computer lab. I can use that opportunity to shout with my friends on Facebook. I can use that opportunity to do other social networking. So don't be surprised if you don't see the screen to look at what they are doing. They are doing other things. So if you don't see the screen, what they do is when you are coming, they minimize the screen. When you leave, they maximize, they continue with their things. You ask them, submit your work, they tell you, we are not done. What have they been doing? Social networking. So a layout like this is always very good. Okay? It's always the U shape. We have the star layout. There are other type of layout. Go back to your study guide. You will see different type of layout. So in an examination, if you are asked to describe the computer U-shaped layout and what advantages is there, why do you prefer the layout, there are quite millions of advantages you can write or describe or talk about when it comes to this layout. What else does Mr. Edo want to discuss with you here? I want to discuss with you what are the common problems we face as computer teachers, you face as computer teacher in Namibia secondary school or in Namibia primary school. What are some of the things that militate that makes it difficult for this curriculum to be well implemented the way it has been designed? One, lack of quality in teaching. You see, computer teachers at times are not qualified. What I mean by qualified computer teachers are those who study computer studies and they know the methodology. So if you bring in a graduate of computer science from the university, from the faculty of science, he or she cannot really teach the subject. He knows, not that he does not know, he knows. But how can he impart the knowledge? He doesn't know. What is lacking? The methodology. He doesn't know the method to explain. So what he ends up doing is to lecture secondary students. And when you lecture secondary school students, you are not teaching, you are cheating the students. So lack of qualified teachers is a problem. Okay? Teachers absenteeism, teachers being absent is a problem. Computer studies needs that they should work on the computers on daily basis. But when the student, the teacher is not there, what happened? Lack of textbooks, poverty. There's so many reasons why teaching of computer studies has become kind of not efficient in our country. So these are some of the causes: poverty, lack of schools and transport, lack of electricity in rural areas, lack of internet, especially in rural areas, teachers absenteeism, lack of infrastructures. Lack of infrastructures here, what I mean is that you go to schools at time, you find 5 students to 1 computer. My God, you can't teach anything when 5 students are using 1 computer. Who is going to use the system? Probably the ones that know how to use the mouse. The rest are just looking, and when they look, they cannot do anything. So lack of infrastructures, lack of textbooks, lack of qualified teachers. These are some of the factors that makes it quite difficult for computer studies syllabus to be well implemented in our country. Now, when you teach computer studies, how do you explain concepts to students using pictures? You see, you are talking about technology here. There are things you made mention of. Sorry, class. There are things you made mention of that learners have never come across. They have never seen them before. So the best thing is to use picture to explain to them, oh, this is what I'm saying. For example, you say virus. They've never seen it. Their mind goes to the biological virus. Can you use a picture of a program destroyed by a virus to explain to them? Or you talk about computer network. Their mind, don't make the teaching kind of abstract to them. Don't make it abstract. You talk about internet, you talk about computer virus, you talk about hardware, you talk about artificial intelligence. These are things that they've never heard before. Talk about virtual reality. They've never heard about this before. What you can do is to use pictures to explain to them. Where can you get pictures from? The easiest way, the best way to get pictures from is from the internet. So you can copy a picture of what you are trying to explain to them from the internet and say, oh, listen, look at what I'm trying to explain to you. Look at the picture. They can say, oh, this is what you mean, man. This is what you mean. Say. You can also take a screenshot of pictures. Take a screenshot of graphics and show them so that they can relate what you are saying with the pictures for them to comprehend better what you are talking about. Okay, Mr. Edo will move ahead now to the type of instructions. Okay, We have two types of instructions here. We have the direct instruction, we have the indirect instruction. The direct instruction is highly teacher oriented. The teacher is in charge. He talks, just like what I'm doing now. He talks. You see, he gives one or two questions. He explains everything for 40 minutes, 45 minutes in the classroom. He's the only one talking. Then at the end, he asks the student, do you understand? What will the student tell you? Yes. They will never tell you no. If they are honest, have been to a school to supervise a student on teaching practice, then the teacher asks, do you understand? They said no. Then the teacher asked them, what you don't understand? They said everything. Oh, so you mean everything for 45 minutes you don't understand? Where do I start from now? Again, do you know where the problem is, why they don't understand? You use the direct instruction. It was teacher-centered. They were never involved. So it's not the best approach. Use the indirect instruction. Use the indirect instruction where the learner is involved. I've spoken about that before, where the learner is involved. In my next presentation, I will show you how learners can be practically involved in computer classes, where learners can be practically involved in computer classes. Let's look at the next topic which I have selected here, how to budget for the computer lab. What are the items you can recommend to the school board when to set up a computer lab? Okay, these are the common items: tables, chairs, electrical cabling, telephone for internet connection. Most of the time now we use other type of connectivity. The internet services also should also be considered. The hardware, the printing, the software, the training of the staff. Okay, include some of these items that are here in your budget. Insurance, also electricity costs, installation and maintenance. Most times if you don't include the maintenance, you run into a problem, because these are computers that are used by students on daily basis. They will always break down. All right, things that can be included in your budget. Virtual reality. This is a topic that in past examination question paper you try to be having problem with it. Virtual reality is an artificial environment created with computer hardware and software, and it is presented to the user to make the user believe that it is real. So when you create an artificial environment, an environment that is not real, with hardware and software, and that environment is presented to the user to make it believe that this environment is real, that is a virtual reality. Okay, so read up more about virtual reality. Fortunately, I cannot explain further because of time. Then we have an example of this picture. You see, this is a house. This is not a house built by human being. It's a virtual house created by virtual reality programs. Okay, it will look as if it's a real house, but it's not a real house. So we can see what are the applications of virtual reality. Where can you use it? It can be used by architects, can be used by military men, chemical industries, and so on and so forth. The last thing I will briefly explain is the coursework. How you can evaluate your student on coursework. Get this page, this Annex B from your computer studies syllabus of grade 12. There you will see this evaluation criteria. It tells you how to evaluate a student. Fill in the candidate name, the candidate number, the candidate center. Then, how to evaluate the student. There are criteria here. Read through the criteria. See if the student meets a criterion. If the criterion is met, then award the mark accordingly. This coursework is wide in scope. I'm going to design a presentation only on this coursework. I'm going to design a presentation only on this coursework. How do you develop a coursework? how do you evaluate a coursework for students? Because by the time you graduate as a computer studies teacher, this is going to be one of your major tasks, especially those of you that are going to teach grade 11 and 12. This is going to be one of your major tasks to evaluate student coursework. So I'm going to design a presentation only on evaluation of coursework. But in preparation for your August examination, please study that coursework. You must familiarize yourself with how to evaluate a student coursework, because we're going to examine you on that also. We want to see your competency on how to evaluate a student coursework. Ladies and gentlemen, my beloved students, I love you a lot, but unfortunately this is how far I can go in this contact examination based presentation. My name remains Edu, and here is my contact number, 081-480-4091. You can contact me and ask me more questions concerning this presentation. Thank you.